Life up here feels much more free of restrictions and regulations, kinda like you would expect it in a time before our modern and organized societies. Have you ever noticed that life feels surprisingly different based on where you are in a country? Big cities tend to leave many people disconnected and confined, while the countryside can still give you room to breathe. Our farm in mid-Norway is already rather peaceful and free, but there are places up north in this country that are on a whole nother level. Places that still make you align with nature and the rhythm of the seasons. The only thing about those places is that it can take a while to get there sometimes. It's 11:30 now. While the popular places in Norway are by far the most stunning to visit, it's hard to feel at ease sharing it with hundreds of tourists.
Eyes on the road.
And it's also not what living in Norway really feels like. For a more true Northern Norway experience, where you still find peace and quiet, you have to drive far away from the crowds and cruise ships.
Which is that double-edged sword?
Summer makes for a pretty good time wherever you are on the planet. Yet I would say some places are a bit more special than others. Right now we're standing just 2 hours away from the northernmost point of Europe, at the very top of North Norway. For a good while here in summer we have midnight sun, which means that the sun doesn't set anymore. And out of a sudden, this tiny little village transforms into one of the most special places on Earth. I'm quite happy that our old and trusty car still got us all the way up here. In the end, it is 17 years old and has 170,000 kilometers down, so I think every longer journey should be appreciated. With its high wheelbase, the four-wheel drive and the rooftop tent on the top, it's kinda the ideal travel companion in Norway, keeping you away from having to sleep with all the other vans in the pockets of the main road.
Driving that far north is truly a journey. Even though we are living in mid-Norway, it takes us 24 hours of continuous driving. That is a hard thing to even press into 2 days to get up to Kokelv. But as soon as you see the midnight sun with its soft light on the village and the busyness of people during the night, everything about the drive is forgotten.
Having your vacations that far up north has one side effect though. As soon as you reach the midnight sun, your day rhythm is gone. We're normally going to bed at around 10 p.m. in the evening, and as soon as we're here, it's more like 2 a.m., 2:30, so 4.5 hours difference. We sleep in until like 10 and not really miss out on anything, because the nice light is in the evenings and the sunrise you're not making anyways. Mosquitoes and gnats can be a bit annoying here in the evening. You might see a few of them. They're coming out as soon as the sun disappears. So Yuki decides himself if he prefers to stay outside in the cool environment or inside in the house where there are no insects. And he normally comes in as soon as the sun is behind the mountains. Right foot? Are you coming? Quite often I have to change the reels today.
Historically, fishing has been the most important matter of survival in these harsh places up north. And although it's not a necessity anymore, the fisherman spirit hasn't left any of the inhabitants up here. You can see people patrolling the river at any time of the day, looking for salmon, and on a good summer night, it's a rather busy place, with people enjoying an evening coffee, a fire, and casting into the midnight sun.
We generally try to only buy sides to the dishes, and then get the protein source from the ocean or a lake. It is rather easy to catch fish here, as long as you're not only wanting sea trout or salmon. Pollock, haddock and cod are pretty much available all day long, no matter what tide it is.
In Finnmark, the fishing standards are quite different though. Farther south, you're generally happy if you're catching fish. Here, it only matters if it's sea trout or salmon, and the white fish has to be rather large to be accepted by the locals.
Generally, it's quite amazing that we have access to the farm up here to stay for a week or two, but this year we have an even more luxurious privilege, that is, being able to use a small motorboat to go fishing to the fullest, trolling for salmon and sea trout in the bay here, or go a little farther out for pollock and cod, and maybe, if we're lucky, a halibut. My favorite is herring though. Not many Norwegians are too fan of it, but I think that fatty fish makes for a great dinner. Who knows what that was? The boat isn't particularly large and doesn't have any housing that you could seek shelter in, but to be honest, I'm more of a good weather fisherman anyways, so I think this is more than enough.
Oj,
Just beneath there.
under you.
Wow, look at that.
That's a fish.
Yo. Be a nice dinner.
weather in northern Norway is generally quite inconsistent, and if you have those windier days like today, it can change very quick. The forecast right now is that this sun right here is gonna turn into severe rain and lightning within 1 hour. See if that's going to come true. As of now, there are pretty much no clouds in the sky, so it's very hard to believe that this is gonna turn into very bad weather very soon.
It did take much longer than expected for the rain to come here, and it wasn't as much as it was forecasted, so it was a pretty mild outcome, I would say.
It is ridiculously warm today. 29 degrees is not something you see fairly often up here. So everybody is either in the boat out on the ocean to get a little bit of breeze, or just existing somewhere in the shade behind the houses. And as you see, not too many trees means not too much shade.
"29 degrees in Norway feel rather hot in comparison to southern countries, so we basically just walked back and forth to the river and used it as an excuse to sit down and plan the next hikes.
One canyon we have to climb across, and then we should stick around the easier spaces. It's gonna get much easier after that. So this is gonna be the worst now.
Yeah.
Crossing this canyon and then staying up on that ridge from the side. Wonderful landscape. Not many hills here, so you can constantly see very far. we are ending up somewhere in front of the higher mountains in the back. And this is how the way here look like. A few mountains on the sides of the valley, but all not too high, like maybe 500-600 meters, and the rest flat tundra.
Just imagine when it's filled with water. You start searching for gold.
Very nice.
Short hike.
Slightly slippery.
Proper Finnmark.
Experience.
No, it's not for you.
It feels weird to have coffee at 7 though. Weird and good.
Mm.
Mainly considering the hike back.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, that's what you say now.
It's good that we came back with antlers at least.
Yep.
That was 22 kilometers for no fish.
A lot of calories for no fish.
Absolutely calm. Also, the marina. When the sun is out, people are extremely busy taking out the boats or fishing along the river. And now that the sea folk rolled in, there is nothing. The weather is truly deciding everything here in the north. That boy is not really having the mosquitoes anymore, so he moved inside the hallway. Even the dog knows when to give up against insects. Kokelv is a very small space. The road is actually ending here. With only 118 inhabitants, a small store, which is at the same time a pharmacy, a church and a youth center, it's not particularly a village that is attracting too many new inhabitants. Time has literally stood still in the countryside so far up north. Together with the adaptations to the seasons, people live life much slower than us guys farther south, and immensely slower compared to our lives online. Yet you can get pretty much everything you need, even in such a tiny space, and the sense of community that we're missing in the city has never been lost up here.
Life up here feels much more free of restrictions and regulations, kinda like you would expect it in a time before our modern and organized societies. It's more natural, less scripted, and everything still seems to work out. I mean, I'm standing here on the main street in the middle of the night, and if somebody would see me, they would probably not even raise a brow. The mentality of just taking care of how you behave and not harming others with your actions, while otherwise doing pretty much whatever you want, something I truly enjoy and miss from our over-regulated cities, where you need to ask for permission for everything, and the regulations will probably keep you from doing it at all.
The question is how long these spaces like Kokelv can exist in the manner that they do now. Younger people move off towards the city for better possibilities. Very few of them are coming back, and the schools are closing down. Not long from now, it looks like this place will not have many permanent inhabitants left, and turn into more of a cabin village.
Foods are kept as simple as possible during our vacation, even simpler than at home at the farm. At the same time though, we are still trying to make it as enjoyable eating as possible, and there's much more time to cook. Naturally, there's loads of fish, but also the one or other pancake with cloudberries or cinnamon bun.
We're going to prepare some bacalhau, so this dried fish will have to be watered out for a while. You basically cut it into the pieces that you would like to have, and then have it in cold water for 1 or 2 days, based on the thickness. This one here, probably 2.5 days, and switch the water every morning and evening. And it's not only us eating dry fish here with the bacalhau. This is also the Finnmark version of a dog treat. You need an axe to get it going though.
There you go. Always good to have one in the barn.
What do we do? Can you do?
fetching.
Yeah.
But you took all the good stones.
You can take this one. This is right.
This tiny village got its name from the river that I'm standing in. Kokelv means boiling river in English, and I guess you can see how they came up with that. On a day without much wind, you can hear it nearly all the way to the grocery store.
The old farm that we're staying at is right by the sea and has a rather rich history. A lot of North Norway has been heavily affected by the Second World War, and you can still feel that sometimes. Despite the history, for most living family members, this has been a place of adventure, peace and quiet. Many of the people have been moving very far away from the north, but in summer they're all magically drawn back. There's something about the summers up here that seems to produce rather strong memories. I assume that it is the perception of freedom that you get with all the space around you, and also the stronger alignment with the environment, which is probably a much more natural way for humans to live. And your body still remembers that.
Every day now, the sun is disappearing much sooner behind the mountains. It's 10-15 minutes and you can really feel the difference. Not too many months from now, it's gonna be total darkness here, and at the 30th of July, midnight sun is gonna be over.
Life in the north has slightly different values than it does in the south. And I think they are remnants of a simple life that we once all had. A life that nowadays so many of us are looking for. There's no need to be fully delusional about the north though. The winters up here are long and dark. Jobs are kinda scarce, and people still need to make a living. There is a reason why not too many people are living here. And yet I still think that as many people as possible should experience that life could be different.
Heard some rumors of very big fish around here. So far only rumors, but a few years ago, like 30, 40 years ago, somebody may have carried sea trout from the ocean up here and hoped that they will acclimatize with the only sweetwater condition, and supposedly there are some monsters in here. I can't confirm that yet.
They look very nice.
Hey, you stop.
These guys look much better than the ones that we're having at home.
Very tiny. Cute crunch.
I know this will not be for everybody, but I personally can't see what's more to life than friends and family, shelter, food and adventure. Everybody has their own definition of how that is supposed to look like. The only thing I can tell you is that if you itch for some more freedom and adventure, go to the places that aren't touristy and have a very low population density. Go north.
This looks like it's coming straight towards us. Maybe 10-15 minutes left. The only hope is that it rains off enough to not be Yeah, incredible showering.